in the Middle East. I headed football as a GM for the whole category, trying to build local football in the Middle East, whether working with the Saudis or the Qataris or even the teams in Dubai, national team, grassroots to national teams, trying to really build the local game in the Middle East. And then I took over the marketing role, managing 8 countries based out of Dubai, working, I would say, on a really global campaigns. I'm very well known working around the Nike Pro Hijab for Muslim women. Started this project as a local project for Saudi, and then suddenly it grew to become a global product, a global campaign, not only regionally. So yeah, 3 years back, I decided to quit everything in the Middle East and move with my family to Canada, looking for a better future, obviously, as many of us on this call. So yeah, I quit my Nike job, quit everything, packed my bag, and came to Canada. And I think through my start to build my network and, met Scott and David at the beginning, and I think we really clicked, shared the same vision, and I joined the league back in November 2017, so it's almost 3 years, yeah. And from that moment, I work on building the league from a marketing perspective, on the ground. Probably I'm very famous in saying that we are building the league bottom up. So instead of pushing things from the top, from a marketing perspective, we really care about what our fans, our supporters in general say. We try to give them a voice in everything we do. And I hope through this presentation, you will see a bit more, you will understand a bit more the work we do from the background side, from the kitchen side. And again, you can stop me for any question, or unless Eva wants to keep the questions till the end. So yeah, that's a bit about me. And again, thank you so much for having me. Eva, you want to do questions in the middle, or you want to keep them till the end?
I'll monitor the chat, Roy, and we'll see if it makes sense to ask it as it comes up. I will. I'll sort of interject. If not, we'll bring them at the end. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, where I want to start, you see the title of my presentation is For the Game, for the City. Truly, we're a professional league. We look at things from the professional angle, but we all believe that the game starts in the streets, in the backyards. So for us as well, and you'll see it through the presentation, we want to connect with every fan, whether you play or you don't play, and we try to grow the game as we go. So this will transition to say what really matters to us are stories. So the stories of our fans and supporters, understanding their story builds knowledge. And that's how we've been trying to elevate the league, whether from a club perspective or from a league perspective. So when I joined the league, the first thing I did, I toured the country coast to coast. I think it was January, the best month to tour the country. -40 in Edmonton, -40 in Calgary. First time in Canada, so you use your imagination to think about the experience. I think it was one of the best experiences of my life. So we toured the country, around 15 cities, spent 2 days in every city. And I would say I try to put on this slide the things really we learned when we met all our fans and our supporters in these cities. And for them, innovation is everything. They live and breathe football 24/7. They are proud of their cities. And, they're really looking for the professional league. So for them, it's their game, their city, their stadium. So when speaking about the innovation, you can be innovative not only from a technical perspective, but as well from any idea. We want as a league to feed their obsession. And if someone is living and breathing football 24/7, you want to give them the best and the coolest products. And it could be a jersey, and it could be a stadium experience when you buy a ticket. or it could be an app, a state-of-the-art app when you engage with us on our digital platform. And if you if and this is not something new to anyone, you know, we know from from the game itself, people are proud about their cities. So how we can be really hyper local from our when we come up with ideas or when we come up with campaigns. And definitely we wanted to elevate the game day experience. We want to be authentic to the game, and you know, sometimes in North America, things people look at things from a different perspective. The way we look at the game is how we can be authentic to the game and and really be part of the global game and the beautiful game around the world. So people ask me what you really do. I say we serve their life. We serve the beautiful game, and the way we do it through three different pillars. We like to inspire all our fans and supporters, and it starts on the pitch with our pro players. You know, winning is great, definitely, but as well, stories are equally important as well. We like to serve them through our products, and we have different products, of course, and we like to enable them. We like to connect our fans with our players. We look, in other words, we like to build this one-on-one relationship between our members and our players. So what we do and how we do it and why we do it. Maybe we start with what we do. I try to summarize it in 3 lines, although I could take 3 pages to fill it. But so for us, we bring products and brand stories, strategies, and concept to life to our fans and supporters. We partner and collaborate. We look at things from an internal perspective or from an external perspective, whether we partner with our fans, supporters, or even if we partner with our sponsors, or even if we partner with our clubs or people in the city, sometimes with the tourism department. So in order to elevate the game and to grow it, we need to partner and collaborate with everyone. And definitely different topic, different type of collaboration, but that's key for us. We enrich and add to the league vision. You know, the first thing when I was part of joining the league on the process, and then, you know, from day one, the For Canadians by Canadians was a big title for this league. So this league exists to serve for Canadians by Canadians. So how, from a marketing perspective, we can enrich and add to this league vision and push it forward. As well, we like to drive innovation and storytelling. You will see it later. We like to add a twist to it. For us to be innovative, to come up with new ideas, and to look at things from a different perspective is key. Storytelling is what we do amazingly. I think if you guys followed the launch of the clubs and how we went down naming the clubs, using inspiration stories from within each city down to everything we do, even when we design a jersey. So for us to drive the innovation and the storytelling, it's simply an extra dimension to our products. And that's key to our fans and supporters. If you give everything a meaning, that will resonate a lot with them. So in other way, we like to create memorable brand moments, whether you are part of a stadium experience, coming to a game and being part of a game, or simply being part of an event or a jersey launch. We like to create this element, this notion of a memorable experience. So in a nutshell, we like to lead through an innovative approach by the lens of sport and culture. And you will see it later. We like to bridge both the sport element to the culture element, because end of the day, we operate within a city. Each city has a culture. The sport is big. It's the biggest game in the world. And how we can bring the off pitch and the on pitch together and bridge it in through one lens. So how we do it? We obviously start through the lens of storytelling. for us, it's important to give a meaning to every campaign. So we look down on insights and we try to search and to learn about every city as well as our fans in general, and try to bring the best out of it through the lens of storytelling. Like for example, the picture or I have on the background is a Forever First campaign. So we look at the first year and what made it so unique. It was our first year, so we decided to celebrate every first from this year because this is how we started, and this is like we have a responsibility as well to celebrate these moments, whether it's the first penalty or the first goal or the first win. So we bought the Forever First campaign through the lens of the Champion Forge, but we extended as well to every other club. So as well, the way we like to do it as well is bridge art and science. As much as we love to watch soccer through the lens from a coaching perspective or from the technical side of it, as well, we like to watch it from the artistic side of it. And that's what we do from a marketing perspective. We like to bring these together, whether through our videos or through our stories. And that's when we say, innovation meets style. The third one is through graphic and motion design. So from a creative perspective, I think you guys know from a marketing now, videos makes a lot of sense online. People associate with themselves more with videos than pictures at the moment. So we like to take we like to take a different approach by combining not only the graphic element but the motion perspective of it, because you can tell the story in a much easier way through a video and tap into the emotion of the fans using graphic and motion together. So I think you guys seen if on our social media we're pretty heavy when it comes to videos and motion, because we believe that it's much way easier to tap into the hearts of our fans. And the last one is every event for us is like a theater. We like the way we like to plan our events is through the lens of storytelling. Whether you see a home opener, an official inaugural game, event, or celebration on pitch, or even if you see a home kit, like when we launched the home kits or the jerseys event last year, we like to take advantage of our space design and we look at things from an event perspective as usually people from an art perspective look at it as a theater. So why we do what we do? First, and I think you've seen this a lot, we want to inspire the next generation. So for us, it's the pathway from playground to podium. League One Ontario plays a major element to help us to achieve this. So for us, it's about how we can extend our stories, how we can tell these stories, whether from the past or to the future for us. As well, we like to tap into the emotion of our fans. Growing the game is winning the hearts and minds of our supporters. Whether you do it on a physical level or you do it on a digital level, tapping on their emotions is key to grow the game. We're famous as well in local for local. This is one element that the league, from an identity perspective, was built on. This is a background picture of Valor Road in Winnipeg. This is what inspired the name and the colors of the club in Winnipeg. I have tons of other examples to show you from our different cities. We make ourselves proud in Canada, our cultural mosaic, and we like to take advantage of this to celebrate it through the lens of the league. So being local for local is important, and I want to tap on it with you guys later through the presentation on how you guys can benefit from this. You know, for us, it's not only about the game and the technical side of it, or winning on pitch, or connecting on pitch. We like as well to bridge and to bring different cultures together. For us, soccer is a culture, and it comes with a great connection to music, gaming, art, and fashion. And I think for the first year, through the beginning of the second year, the league has taken this in a very serious way, and we took initiative to initiate a connection through the four pillars. From a music perspective, you know, we tap into the anthem as a start, and you're going to see much more integration. We have the Spotify integration, but you're going to see a much more bigger music piece coming, hopefully. I don't want to say this year with everything is happening, but hopefully from next year onwards. Gaming, you've seen the launch of ECPL, and it's going to go even forward during this summer through the fall next year. And this is all with a partnership with EA in Vancouver and FIFA. And from the art perspective, we have integrated arts in everything we do. I don't want to speak about the away kits and reveal the secret behind the away kits, but you're going to see it soon, hopefully when we launch it soon. But from the artistic side, graffiti has been at the core essence from an artistic perspective, and we keep pushing to different type of art as we move forward. And I'm not going to speak big on fashion, because this is, you know, the jersey, you know it better than me, is our key main product. And the lens we've been designing all these jerseys is through the lens of fashion. So for us, it's important to keep the brand fresh and useful. We like to add a twist to everything we do. So, you know, it's not about designing a jersey in a simple way, but it's getting inspired from each city about the story and try to bring it to life through the jersey, or any type of other products, or even whether we decide to do a fashion show or where even a presentation before a game on the pitch. And the last one, we like to be famous for being an innovative league. We want to keep the brand innovative. We want to lead by always pushing new ideas. I think you've been able to see this through the reveal of the awards. We could simply go to China and build the golden boot, or try to mimic other leagues on what we do. But because we want to merge the local for local and try to bring an extension to what we do from an ideation, or try to be more innovative, we have partnered with Cape Dorset and the artists at the North to bring, probably I would say, the best stories and the best awards on a global scale. So how we can help you, or how we can help each other?
Roy?
Yeah.
Before you jump there, so one question I think is a good timing now. We got a question here from Charles. What did you learn from year one that will make the following year even better? So we'll start with that.
Yeah, I think the biggest learning from year one is the emphasis of local for local. And, you know, we have initiated a lot from a league perspective because it was a year one. I think for year two, the league will still lead from the big initiative, but we want to make sure that it resonates, or we make it a bit more local by incorporating more local elements, and by collaborating more with our supporters group.
And then following on from that, so let's say it's year 5.
Yeah.
What do you imagine, you know, as the biggest innovation coming, the biggest pivot that you think CPL will need to employ?
Oh, it's a great question. I think first we'd like to evolve around the digital piece. I think being mobile first is one of the biggest vision we want to lead from a marketing perspective. Obviously, creative and storytelling will always be a main pillar, but I would say we want to be more digital first, more mobile first within the next even 3 years. Like the app should not be a one-way app. It should be more a service app.
Yeah, and that's the Center Circle app, just so that
Yeah.
everyone hears, knows what you're talking about. Cool. And then last part of this particular question, I broke it up a little bit. How can you, i.e., you know, the marketing side of the business side, help improve the quality on the field? Now, I know you guys have done, we talked about this, about even, you know, the players branding, helping the players brand themselves, the Canadian players, you know, that elevates the entire Canadian community, Canadian soccer players to the global community. So just curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, definitely, like the players piece, and you know, we start working on it even with by simply as well starting by verifying their accounts. And if we really feel that there is a brand around each player to be built, maybe not all the players, but as a start building some of the players' profile more through a brand perspective. Definitely, I would definitely add, like, for us to elevate the league, you need to present the best image of the league, and that's, I would say, what we do and what we would like to do, and even do better year 2 and year 3 and onward. Because end of the day, it's all about the perception of the league from a marketing perspective. But definitely from a non-pitch perspective, we want to grow our players' profile. That's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. There's another one here from Liz, but I'm going to save this one. We'll see what you get into next.
I'm not seeing these questions, but...
No, they're in the... Well, one was private, one's in to everyone, but
okay.
This one I think is going to be suited at the end, so I'll let you keep going, Roy.
Yeah, so I will start, like, I have 3 things to leave you with. You know, I will start by saying you have an opportunity to create your marketplace, definitely as a league, as a group, but as well as individual, as clubs. And it starts by elevating your brand locally. Like, how we would do that? Like, I would say first, you have to look and evaluate your current brand from an identity perspective and say, does it really speak to my city? Does it really speak to my target players or target families? In other way, does it really help to win locally within my city? And you know, you don't, like, many brands around the world pivot and change their identities. And I'm not saying you have to change the name, or sometimes it's just you need the red to be more red, make it more modern. And so there are many brands around the world that change their identities as they grow. And maybe this is something for you to consider. Definitely we can help you. And you can say, oh, but we're not the Apples and the Nikes of the world. But definitely from a sports organization, I can probably fill 10 pages. Like, brands, clubs around the world, at some moment when they feel they need to, they cities, and they will say, okay, what can I do to be more modern? What can I do to resonate more within my local community? And that's the example, for example, of Manchester City. They went back to the old crest, similar old crest of the 1972 crest. So that's a question you need to ask. I can definitely help you, and don't think this will cost you $10,000. We can put our resources within your hand and help you through the process and how to rethink or to grow your identity. And sometimes it's minor changes. Sometimes there's a whole branding change, like the Juventus example, for example. I wanna as well add, since we have Carmelina on the phone, you know, the League One Ontario brand, we have a proposal to change the whole identity. It's on the table. But sometimes a club start more male and suddenly you have a female element to it, or vice versa. And sometimes the brand doesn't speak to one of the genders. So this is an invitation as well to really think about it from every single aspect of it. The second piece, I know it's a big one, but I think it's important to put it on the table. The second one is storytelling. Remember all these athletes, and I put Jade and I put Tristan, started in League One, and now they are on the global, they are part of the global game. I want you to think about what stories you have in each club and how you can tell them, because these stories should start with you guys, not with us. You should be the first to tell these stories. I was very inspired when I met Alfonso, and then I heard him speaking at the FIFA World Cup about his speech and how he came to Canada and then he built himself. Just think about this story if it's been told on your channels through your digital network. So no one knows your clubs better than you do. No one knows your city better than you do. No one knows your players because you handpick them better than you do. I want to invite you together. Again, I'm willing to help you as well to find these stories and let them tell these stories. Start by telling these stories. And the last one is digital and mobile. I know many clubs doesn't really have a marketing arm. You don't need to have a marketing arm. Like posting on Instagram, on Facebook, it's so simple. I think everyone has an Instagram or a Facebook. All you need to do is during the summertime, get an intern or two interns if you can. I work with George Brown College. This is how we build our teams from a marketing perspective. There is a lot of whether new Canadians or students or existing Canadians that they want to have a chance, or they're trying, to build their profile and start their career. And there is no better way to start from the sports world. So I want to invite you to think about this, maybe getting one person or two person every summer as internship. They can help you as well from a social, digital perspective, or even from a graphic perspective. So yeah, Eva, I have a summary slide, and I just wanted to leave it with these three things. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. And even if someone would like to follow up offline after the call, I'm as well available.
Yeah. So Roy, make sure I'm not muted. Yes, I'm not. Okay. So you spoke to obviously where the clubs could look, what sorts of things, or tools that they kind of have at their disposal. Just going back to Liz's question at the beginning, because I think, even drilling it down further, marketing usually scares those of us who have worked in nonprofit in a way, because it's, you think you need a ton of resources, you need, all these skill set staff, like, you need videographer, content, graphic design, all these different things. I mean, if you go right back to where community club is saying, what, we know we need to do more in this space, definitely now in this environment, we need to do more, we may not have a ton of resources. Where is the best place to put their focus? First and foremost, with the tools they have, let's say without spending even a dime, what's the first thing that they could do?
Find local stories. First, find the stories and start communicating on them online.
And when you go about finding the story, what do the steps of that look like?
I think it's just having conversation, trying to, whether you can put a focus group, or if you know a story or someone tells you about a story, or you can ask the players about their backgrounds. Tell me a bit about yourself. It could be part of a team building activity. You can do it in a different way, Eva. There is no one right way to do it. As well, if you chat with their families, their mom, their dads, always have a question in mind to ask them when you meet them that try to help you to learn a bit more about these people. And this will come on time. Like, you cannot just say, okay, you know what, I'm going to focus this week and I'm going to bring all these stories. It doesn't happen this way. Maybe I didn't say it in the presentation, but storytelling is trying to find insights and stories. and that's a day-to-day job for everyone, not only the marketing team. But yeah, maybe your assistants, maybe the coaches within the club knows about something. It's just about communicating more. And as I said, even when a parent come to drop their child, their kids, or pick them up, just always when you shake their hands, have a question in mind to ask them. Maybe there is something you can learn about them.
Yeah, and I think one thing I would add to that, Roy, is for the group here. I mean, the players that you deal with, like, it's amazing. These kids grew up way more with technology than we did. I know Roy has a special interest in this. It takes a little bit more learning, but when you bring your players around the table, the 15, 16, 17, and talk to them about the brand and talk to them about your social media and what that looks like, and is it interesting, is it engaging? I mean, I'm sure they'll tell you, I'm sure they'll have ideas. Like, this is their world, and that's something very simple to do as well, right? It's like you just sit with your players and have a conversation. Look, do you like the brand? Do you think it's cool? Is it not? I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to attract more players, more kids to your programs, and best to go closer to the age group to think about what that might be.
In every team you will have 3, 4, maybe 5 influencers on your pitch. Like, these are maybe the players that other players look up for. They are interested in their, and sometimes it's not only on pitch, it's off pitch. They like to follow trends. They're maybe heavy on music. Try to get these 4, 5 people, 6 people in a room and just ask them directly, hey, what do you think about our identity? Yeah. What do you think about the colors? What do you think about our logo? And see what they have to say. Test it.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
again, you should not be.
Go ahead, Roy.
Like, changing an identity is not being aggressive. I can tell you, probably the league logo will evolve in the next 5 years. If the market, if our fans and our supporters feels that they want more a modern look, we're gonna do it.
Had a really good question here from Melanie Roy. She, in the chat, when you get a chance, she's thanking you for your insights, your experiences. So her particular question here is about the 40 years of history of Brams United, which is the club that she's with. In 2018, the club rebranded with a new logo. There's obviously so much history and talent that's come out of the Brams United on the female side, and a lot of the members are still connected to the original logo. Any advice or ideas that could have the members fall in love with a new brand and logo and carry that 40-year passion over to the new brand?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So thank you. I think sometimes when you want to rebrand, you phase it. You don't suddenly need to change the logo completely overnight. You take baby steps. If you want to introduce a new color, maybe you start by introducing a new color as an away kit, and then you test it and you see how people feel about it. And then you start, okay, now we're gonna do a monocolor of the existing logo in the green color. And so there is a way, and I'm happy to help you, Melanie. But if you feel the rebrand is not working, Manchester City has the same issue. Stop it, and let's look at the identity all over. More importantly, we need to understand what are the elements that resonate with people for a 40 years of history. And we have to make sure that these elements are incorporated in the new identity. Even it could be from a modern perspective, but still it represents something in the new identity because it matters to them. And I'm always about having an identity that speaks to both gender. So with all my respect to a 40 years history, but if it's male driven, we should find the balance in the new identity.
Great, thanks, Roy. One more here from Charles. So Charles was just asking, obviously we have a clear partnership between League One CPL. I mean, the pathway and the connectivity between those two brands is actually critical. Roy and I have spent a ton of time talking about this, and we want to move into action for sure. I mean, his question is basically, you know, what do we suggest to coordinate our standards between League One and CPL? It's on and off the field, marketing and innovation, obviously with small costs. So, I mean, first and foremost, Charles, I'll start. Roy and I have talked about this. We believe that the brands between CPL and League One, like the identity, they need to be more aligned. They need to be more synergistic. You need to, I think the broader community needs to know that League One is really part of this family now of what we're building. And at the current time, you know, we have a brand that was there. And it was there for whatever reason. Does it resonate? Will it thrive in the future? No, we don't think so. So Roy and I have already started to lay the groundwork for that, so that when the players coming through the pathway into League One, through the clubs into League One, and then potentially, at least on the men's side, looking for CPL, that they feel an identity and attachment to that league already. You know, it's like we're branding them early days. So we have to start there for sure. On the women's side, you know, Carm's very passionate about this. And Carm, I don't know if you're available to come off mute or not, but certainly, I mean, she's done some work around, you know, just looking globally at how leagues and brands have positioned their male and female teams and leagues differently, right? Especially in this space. Carm, are you off mute?
Yeah, I am.
Well, I want to just, you know, speak to that a bit and what we're thinking about around League One women's. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, there's a lot of exploration to be had. I mean, you know, what to the point that Roy had about what resonates with the fans. You know, there's a bigger question here: is where's the women's game going? And I think that's a federation, you know, CSB, CPL sort of discussion. So they're all really exciting conversations. But you know, maybe there is something around the two brands. We see a lot of that. The examples I can provide are, you know, basically the Portland Thorns and the Portland Timbers. Same ownership group, everybody on the staff is working on both products, but they are different products and for different industries. So there are nuances sometimes, and I know Roy said they have to appeal to both naturally, but there is something about the women's division maybe looking, feeling slightly different. So I'm looking forward to exploring that actually in the next little bit.
Yeah.
And the next one is even on the national level. The U.S. men's national team, the U.S. women's national team, they're quite different, right, in the product and who it appeals to. So it's going to be a cool journey ahead.
You know, Carm, and maybe Eva as well, you know, I'm big. I have a famous statement. I always use it when I do my presentation. When it comes to the woman side of it, this is not about pinking it and shrinking it. I think many brands around the world does the mistake of taking a product, shrinking it, and pinking it. That doesn't make it a female product.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. And
no one steal my line. I'm going to trademark.
You got to trademark that one. You'll see it on Twitter later.
And then just to follow on here, Charles mentioned, should we not think even more holistically in the branding clubs, League One CPL? Charles, absolutely. Where we believe we can have influence is on, you know, the League One aspect of clubs, because as you know, the clubs run many programs at different ages. You know, they have a whole other pathway. So what we at least want to first and foremost start to have conversations about and focus on is, you know, the League One team within your club and how that connects in through what we're trying to do up through League One, CPL, etc. So we believe we can, you know, make some inroads there and really, let's say, drive down that professionalizing of the game, of the look and feel of it, starting there. And then, you know, if the clubs want to take it further into their other age groups, then that's fantastic.
Eva, if you allow me to say, if someone need help with a rebrand, or even re-looking at their identities, you know, Eva knows that I work with a lot of freelancers from your communities in specifically, so from the Ontario community. I'm happy to make an introduction. These people do it. They are part of many supporters group with the league or within both leagues, and they will do it really at a really cheap price in a way. and that's just because I want to help to build the game within Canada.
Yeah. And of course, for starters, guys, I mean, if you want to take Roy up on his offer to just have a first look and a first thought, first conversation, I know he'd be happy to do that. This is his passion, so, and he's very good at it. Okay, so if there's no other questions, Roy, thanks for your time. Thanks for the session today. I think hopefully this was valuable to the community, the League One community. We have recorded this, so I know we'll upload this and share it with everyone. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Roy, thanks for your presentation.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Enjoy the day, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.